So the big news last week, if you haven't heard, President Trump was impeached on Wednesday by the House of Representatives. So today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about the impeachment proceedings and what we can expect to happen going forward into 2020. And we're also going to talk about the technical charts and what they're doing, how they're reacting to all this impeachment hoopla. So if you're new to the channel, my name's Austin Silver. I appreciate you being here. Do me two favors before we jump in here on the charts. First, hit that red subscribe button below me, easy. Second favor, just give me a big thumbs up. That helps us reach more traders in the community and spread the value. So I appreciate it. Now, first thing we're going to look at is the S&P 500 on the daily chart. The one fact that I would love to point to here when we get into this conversation is that since the impeachment proceedings have started on October 31st by the House of Representatives, since then, the stock market, the S&P 500, is up almost 5%. So right there off the jump, when you hear how does the market react to impeachment, it seems to go higher when we talk about impeachment. But that makes you scratch your chin a little bit and say, why? Why would the market go higher? Why is the stock market and economy reacting well to Trump being impeached? I think the answer to that is just to look at Trump's numbers, his GDP, his payroll numbers, employment numbers. Look at the numbers that we gauge our economic health on, GDP. Look at those numbers. Look at his small victories with the potential trade deal, the NAFTA deal. Look at all these little victories and the good numbers and see why investors would still support Trump even though he's being impeached. Now, that's the first part of why they would still support him, is because the numbers are good. The second part is because if you understand how impeachment proceedings work, they know, these big investors, they know how they work. The Senate is never going to convict Trump and kick him out of office. Why? The Senate is controlled right now by Republicans. In order for this vote that happened in the House to be worth anything, you would need more support for that vote also in the Senate. You can't just impeach someone if only the House of Representatives votes for it. That's why we have this checks and balances system here in the United States. You need two parties almost to come together. So with the House of Representatives saying, yes, we're putting through these 2 counts of impeachment, it now gets passed to the Senate, where, like I said, majority control is held by Republicans. So Trump, he knows he's not getting kicked out. Investors on Wall Street, big corporations, foreign investors, whatever it is, they also know that he's not getting kicked out. This is not a complicated process. And because we don't expect a bunch of Republicans to jump ranks and go be Democrats just to kick him out, more often than not, investors are going to see all this political noise and talk of impeachment as bullshit. They're literally going to see it exactly that. It's noise. They don't worry so much about what CNN or CNBC is saying. They're worried more about what are the numbers coming out through the economic reports that we still gauge our economy's health on, and what are big investors doing with their money. So first thing that I think is an important stat to point to is that since October 31st, you see I have it marked here on the chart, since October 31st, it's been nothing but up. That's the first thing to note. I want to lay that on top of the dollar index here. Pull this up. So if we look at the dollar index, and if you've seen my other videos, I like to use the dollar index to gauge where Forex markets are going to trade. The dollar index is an inverse of Euro USD. So if I know the dollar index is moving higher, I know that Euro USD is moving lower. And then I can decide, okay, if Euro USD is moving lower, since that's the most traded currency pair, maybe all the Euro pairs are falling. And now, just by starting with the stock market, the S&P, going to the dollar index, seeing if I can find confirmation there, and then taking what the dollar index is doing, flipping it and saying this is what the euro is doing, I'm able to create a bunch of potential trade setups for myself on the euro pairs as I expect them to come lower, since we would see this bullish movement on the dollar index. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, drop a comment. I'll be more than happy to answer you. So here on Wednesday, you can see I have what I labeled as my impeachment level. This was the low to start the day on Wednesday for the dollar index. It rose all day till about 8 o'clock in the morning, set its high here at 97.48, 97.49. So now we have our low and high set for our impeachment levels. Now that the vote has gone through on Wednesday, people know that this is getting passed to the Senate, shit's getting a little more serious. Thursday, it confirmed that low, 97.22, as a pretty decent level of support. It also confirmed the high from the previous day at 97.48 as a good level of resistance. So now, going into today, going into Friday, and going forward into next week, I was watching the 97.48 level. And wouldn't you know, the dollar index busted through, retested, and now moved higher off of it. So you're seeing more bullish movement here on the dollar index today. You're also seeing bullish movement today on the stock market. S&P 500 already pushing higher here. It's only 10:40 in the morning, already pushing to new highs. Guys, this is the highest that the S&P 500 has ever been. Look, on the daily chart, never been this high. And this is all happening while they're talking about impeachment. So remember, the point of this video is how are you going to act better going forward with this impeachment hanging overhead? I'm showing you. Dollar index, higher. Doesn't care about the impeachment. Stock market, higher. Doesn't care about the impeachment. So what are we going to do? We're going to then be able to turn to something like Euro USD and see it falling, even this morning, see it falling, even from Wednesday, the drop on Wednesday, being short biased because the dollar index is long biased. It looks like it's going to break out. So then what you can do is, knowing your short biased Euro USD, you can come and look at these other Euro pairs to see if there's potential for short. Now, I know a lot of guys in our room were short Euro CAD. That had a nice 100 pip drop already this week. Now, just from understanding what's going on with the impeachment, we've taken that data and turned it into trade ideas. So I'm going to explain it one more time. You take the S&P 500, you take the stock market, the dollar index. You look at those two instruments. If they're both looking bullish, as they are, you could flip it because Euro USD is an inverse of the dollar index and look at Euro pairs to then come lower. Then what you should do is apply your trading system and go find the best entry on whichever Euro pair you could trade, in this case, short, in that direction, opposite to what the dollar index and what the stock market are doing. So, with the proceedings now taking step 2, we have this Senate vote that's going to happen in the first few weeks of January. It's really important that you guys stick to the technical chart. See what the chart is telling you. How is it reacting? Before you go and read some news article that says Trump's going to get the Senate vote and stock markets are going to crash. Don't listen to any of that at all. Because big investors, where the money is that really moves this market, they don't care about any of that stuff. So keep the dollar index in mind as you're judging how is it reacting to impeachment. Keep the S&P 500 in mind as well. And if you're watching both of those, you're going to be able to flip it and take it to trade ideas on the euro, take it to trade ideas on even like Euro CAD, Euro AUD. All these euro pairs could then have trade ideas generated on them just because you're reading the dollar index and the S&P. So going forward, keep your eye on the news. Right? Keep a bigger eye on me and what we're talking about here, because I'm going to give you the facts. I'm not going to talk to you about some news article from some biased source that's getting paid to run ads or getting paid to say something. I'm not going to talk to you about that stuff. The charts don't care. The charts don't run ads. The charts don't do anything like that. So when I see the S&P 500 breaking for all-time highs, I see the dollar index surging here as we talk more and more about impeachment, I don't let impeachment scare me. I look for short opportunities on the euro. I look for trading opportunities on the pound short as well, because that's what the dollar movement is telling me I can expect from these other currencies. I hope the video today helps you guys. I hope that if you didn't know anything about impeachment or how to trade going forward, I hope it brings you some value that you can use to make better trading decisions going forward. If you're new to the channel, like I said, just do me a favor, hit the subscribe, hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. It motivates me to keep the videos coming for you guys. And if there's any particular video you need me to cover, please drop a comment down below. I'm more than happy to make that for you. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's Forex video.